too. I know together we can make a pretty world for me and for you, for you. It's what I long to do, to make a world with you.
That was a fun jam.
You like that?
Yeah, it did.
Sergio Mendes, one of my favorites. Sergio Mendes did our original theme song.
The original Dr. Herman's Head theme song?
Yes.
What?
Yes, the Casino Royale theme.
Oh, yeah.
That was Sergio Mendes also.
Sergio
Mendes, Brazil 66.
Reminded me of like the Mary Tyler Moore show or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's but that's the same type
that
of
same
thing,
vibe, yeah.
Welcome. I'm going to be like Whoopi Goldberg on The View. Welcome to The View. Welcome to welcome Dr. Herman's Head.
Thanks a lot. Here's my resignation.
Whoa, that hurts. That hurts. Don't leave me alone, baby. Well, welcome to Inside Dr. Herman's Head. I am Dr. Jan Herman of Herman Family Chiropractic Center when the middle of the week comes around, but on the weekend, I'm your host of Inside Dr. Herman's Head, and I'm here with my co-host, Greg Big Show Larson.
Hey.
What up, dude?
What's happening?
You know what? I got lots happening.
Yeah.
But I want to start with some real news.
Real news?
Something that you told me yesterday.
Oh. about my cat friend?
About your cat, about Cat Benatar.
Cat Benatar.
For those who don't know.
Cat Benatar is the official mascot of the Inside Dr. Herman's Head show.
That's right. Cat Benatar was a waif.
Yeah.
Found on the doorstep of my office back in
doorstep.
November.
I wish it was the doorstep. It was under the lowest car in the parking lot.
Well, the doorstep when I found it.
Yeah.
When I found it.
When I found it. That's the whole thing, and that's what we need to talk about is for the last all right, coming on 3 months now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. Well, let's just say.
Well, when you first got the cat, you had no idea.
I had no idea.
And I said, boy or girl, and you said I don't know. How to, yeah. So.
And I mean, I'm not going to sit there and study the thing and stare at its butt forever. And
I'm glad to know that.
I didn't see anything happening totally, so I figured it was a girl, and we went on with that, and it was Cat Benatar from that moment on.
Mm-hmm.
Until
yesterday.
Yeah. And so the other night, I'm sitting there, and the thing's kind of a hellraiser, you know what I mean? And I understand that kittens are crazy, and you got to get them fixed, it calms them down, all this stuff. So it's climbing on my records, and then once I noticed that it started chewing on one of the corners of my records, total pet peeve. Just don't touch my records. I don't care.
Well, that needs to be fixed. I'll tell you.
That's what I'm saying. So
be touching my records.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, that's it. You're dead. So I get up, I go to chase after the thing. The thing climbs down off the records, runs away into the kitchen, and I noticed something growing out of its butt.
I noticed something that wasn't there before.
And I was like, and you can't avoid a cat butt. You know what I mean? It's there. Tail's always in the air. It's there.
If you say so.
Well, that's if you're around a cat. Okay, I'm not saying that they're in everyone's lives.
You can't avoid a cat butt.
But you can't avoid a cat butt if
it's. Can I quote you on that?
If it's there, you can quote me.
All right. You cannot avoid a cat butt.
I'm like, what's growing out of its butt? So I'm like, I got scared at first. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Like, because I didn't get it fixed yet, it's going to explode now. What's going on? So I picked the thing up and I'm looking at it. And yeah, sure enough.
It hit you.
Sure enough, there's a fuzzy, hairy beanbag sitting there. And I'm like, what's going on? So here I am now, and I'm surprised I didn't do this in the beginning when we were trying to like figure out whether it was boy or girl. So I start Googling cat butts.
Mm-hmm. Cat butts.
To get the, to try and get the comparison.
Cat butts, exterior.
Yeah, exactly. So, I hope I don't get a knock on the door soon going, hey, your web history is showing,
well, at
cat
least
butts, you're under arrest.
At least they matched, right? Like Gary says, it's important
it's
to
crazy
balls
because
match.
I watched a video of a girl and she had like small kittens and she was showing the difference and it's like that one already had them. Already had them. This guy took forever. So now Cat Benatar has turned into Mewey Lewis.
I love it.
And I was very upset at first. I looked at it and was like, I don't know if I like you anymore. I was used to having a daughter. Now I gained a son, and
right.
But no, it's all good now. But now I was like, okay, what if for the last 3 months it actually enjoyed being a girl and wants to stay that way? I can't tell the cat how to run its life, man.
That's the way the cat identifies.
What if it identifies that way? So I may have a transgender cat.
Cat lives matter.
I may need to put a transgender symbol on the litter box. I might have to do that.
That's right, because if this was North Carolina, the cat would have to use a different litter box.
That's what I'm saying.
God.
So that was my excitement, and then I was blown away.
I would imagine you wouldn't sleep that night. But.
No, I was. It was a little upsetting.
I was driving to work on Friday morning, and I was tired. I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep the night before, and sometimes you drive and you're not totally paying attention. You're not always there. You're kind of daydreaming. You're in a fog, and I was in a fog on Friday morning.
I'm a pro at that.
Your body just takes over. Well, it's a good thing it does. Most of our bodies do when that happens to us, and it takes over and it takes care of us. It gets us where we're going.
True.
You don't know how long it took you, or you don't remember the trip. But I remember pulling up behind the line of cars that were parked at the light, and thinking to myself, not parked, but just waiting at the light. You know what I mean? There was 7 or 8 cars, and I was in the back, and I was thinking to myself, I'm driving my Suburban at this point.
Okay.
Not the smart car. I probably wouldn't be thinking the same thing if I was driving the smart car, but I was behind the wheel of the Suburban, which is just this behemoth of a vehicle.
Oh, I love that thing because I can fit very nicely.
Yeah, I slipped right into that the other day. So, but as I approached the back of this car that I was staring at in front of me, kind of in a fog, I was locked in and I was kind of in a trance. I was clear enough in my mind to think I could just, instead of easing onto the brake as I come up behind, just step on the gas pedal and just decimate 2 or 3 cars in a row.
Oh, yeah, like a monster truck.
Just roll right out, And, it's funny because I've had a conversation with so many people over the past few years about my atheism. And one of the biggest arguments that religious people have against atheists is, where do you get your moral compass from?
Yeah.
If you don't have God to get it from. And my answer has always been, as so many atheists proclaim, I get it from my brain. It tells me what's right and what's wrong, and what's good and what's bad. I figure out because I don't need a deity to tell me what's right and wrong. I'm not I'm not an animal. I figured it out.
You were raised by someone who taught you right from wrong as well. And now, even if you weren't, would you know? I think it's an instinct.
Well, that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Atheists subscribe to the idea that it is an instinct.
Yeah.
The do unto others as you would have them to do unto you is an instinct.
Right.
It should be in you.
Right. I didn't need to be told.
Right. and it was that thing, that instinct that kept me from hitting the gas pedal.
Right.
Kept me from just saying, well, I can just slam right into the back of you. And if somebody was like, why'd you do that? How did that happen? I was like, well, I don't know. I just did it.
Yeah, you just did it. Just felt like it.
So,
I do what I want.
Mr. T, Mr. B, Mr. Big Show.
But I mean,
But that led me to think about something. Because of course my mind wanders and jumps from place to place.
Of course.
And as I was thinking about how proud I was of myself of not slamming into this car in front of me, it brought me back to thinking about a time when I did have an accident like that. Years and years ago, I was in college and I was driving my 74 74, 71, 71
Ooh,
Chevy Nova.
Nice. Oh,
Little tank of a car. It's really, and I was coming up behind the big Cadillac that was turning, and as he started to go for his turn, and I assumed he just kept going,
yeah.
I turned my head to look for traffic and slammed into the back of him because he didn't complete his turn. And it's a kind of accident that's pretty common. It happens a lot. Well, I was thinking about that and how my car was not, had to have the fender pulled out of the tire so I could drive it after that. It was all messed up. And it just made me think about that accident.
Yeah.
That was Friday morning. Friday afternoon, my daughter calls me and had exactly that accident.
Oh, great. You made her get in an accident.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but I was thinking about it and I was like, that's pretty bizarre.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's almost, you predicted it.
It's almost sort of kind of synchronistic.
Yeah.
Okay. And Synchronicity.
It's a good Police album. It's a great album.
Do you know where the word comes from?
No. The origins of the word? No.
Well, what synchronicity is? Aside from a Police album?
Explain to me.
Synchronicity
doctor.
It's one of it's synchronicity. I don't know the exact how it's defined online or anything, but synchronicity is one of those. It's when those things happen that just can't possibly happen. It's more the coincidence. Okay. And there, I can't remember the author of the book, but there's a book I have called Strange Coincidence. It was written, 30, 40 years ago. And there have been over the years several people that have studied it and followed it. And it's mind-boggling things that there's no explanation for. It just can't even happen, but they do.
Right.
Like when you're driving down the road and you're listening to a song and a word, a very, very rarely used word in the song comes in, and you look up and you see that word on a billboard at the same time. You know what I mean? So, and there are lots and lots of stories, and you can look it up and you can research as people have done, and I've done over the years, stories about people who have, let's say, a car accident with somebody else who's driving exactly the same car that they're driving.
Yeah. Same
color, same make, same model, same year, and the driver has the same name as them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and to boot, on top of it, I think we're being talked to from upstairs.
Yeah.
And on top of it, like the license plates are just one number away. Or something like that.
Yeah.
That's synchronicity.
That's crazy.
I remember a story, reading about a story years ago about a guy in England who he took the bus to and from work.
Mm-hmm.
And this one he had for years, for like 20 years, he took the same bus and this one day on the way home from work, he fell asleep on the bus and he missed his stop.
Okay.
He woke up like an hour later and he had missed so many stops. He was back in the neighborhood that he kind of grew up in.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been to in years and years and years.
Wow.
And he decided, while I'm here, before I catch a bus back to where I'm supposed to be, I'm going to go visit a friend of mine from years and years ago and see if he's still living in the same house. And he went to this house, knocked on the door, no answer. Knocked on the side window, no answer.
Yeah.
Went around the back, and the back door, which led into the kitchen, he knocked on the door, no answer. He looked inside and saw his old friend from decades ago with his head in the oven attempting to commit suicide.
Are you serious?
And broke the window and saved his life. He hadn't seen him in decades.
It was like a meant to be thing.
That's the synchronicity. That's synchronicity.
That's crazy. Yeah, that story just gave me chills right there. That was a good one.
And these are, all these things are documented by witnesses and some crazy synchronicities.
That's a good one. Wow, yeah, that got me, man.
That's one of my favorite things to read about and to study over the years that I've studied with synchronicity. Very, very cool stuff. And everybody's had them happen to them.
Yeah, everybody's got some unexplainable or deja vu or something like that.
Deja vu.
That's a totally
has always freaked me out.
Well, that one, like when it legit happens, it's like it happened to me once, and like where I really was like, I've been here, I've done this, and you start questioning everything. Like, what's going on? Am I really here? Like,
well, you know what? But there's two kinds of deja vu, and a lot of people don't know this.
What do we got?
There's the idea that what's happening now has happened before,
mm-hmm.
or the idea that this is going to happen again. You really don't know if you're like when you have a deja vu. Usually, you're aware of the fact that this has happened before, or you're aware of the fact this hasn't happened yet and you're seeing the future?
Stuff scares me because I had a real good one where it's like I felt like this happened before, but I was in a place I've never been.
Well, then you would be seeing the future.
I remember exactly. I was in a club. It was in Cleveland, and when the band was playing, and every single thing that we did.
And you were never in Cleveland before.
I was never in Cleveland before, and every single thing that we did from, you show up early, you check in, you bring all your equipment in, sound check, all this stuff. Like, it's like I was calling it, like picking it in my head, like right before things were happening. And it really scared me to the point where it's like I started thinking back, like, what if this is like Matrix-like, where
it's looped upon itself or something like that?
Where like it's a glitch in the hard drive.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm repeating something, or I skipped ahead to something. Like,
yeah, it's as good an explanation as any.
And that's the stuff that gets me staring at a wall for a few hours. And
well, in deference to what you're saying, I've been in Cleveland maybe half a dozen times, and every time I'm there, something weird happens to me.
In Cleveland,
but that's Cleveland. So
that's it's
Cleveland, weird.
Cleveland rocks. What are you going to do?
But I know what you're talking about, and. And some people would argue, people who have actually researched deja vu will say that you were experiencing a future happening.
It just felt very, very, like I didn't like it.
Well, don't do it again.
I wasn't accepting it. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. Well, actually, you know what? It's kind of weird because right now I'm having something similar.
Oh, really?
I'm having Vujade.
Vujade?
You know what that is?
I don't know. Sounds good, though.
That's the feeling that none of this has ever happened before. I'm having it right now. And with that, I would like to remind you that Inside Dr. Herman's Head is brought to you by Thai Orchid.
It is.
30 North 9th Street in Stroudsburg.
That's where they live.
It came out clearly. Chef and owner Kanya Nicholas is a native of Thailand, and the Nicholas family has been cooking for the Poconos since
1955.
Very good.
The year of the flood.
Come and experience the authentic taste of Thailand at Thai Orchid in Stroudsburg. Lunch specials daily, dining in only Sunday through Thursday. Takeout orders, call 570-421-1717 or visit ThaiOrchidTakeout.com. Yeah, you're right. That's it. All right, let's take a break for a couple. We'll be right back.
You want to get the best deal on auto parts? Go see Dan and Dave at A&A.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And this is Dave.
From A&A Auto Parts.
They're battling over who's got the better deal. Dan?
ABS window visors. 2-door set, only $37.99 each. Or 4-door set, only $47.99 each.
Dave?
Underrail bed liners for Super Duty are marked down to just $139.99 each.
Save on all WeatherTech floor protection products. It's a big game super sale with 20% off. I've got the best deal.
No idea.
Whether it's Dan or Dave, either way, it's always A&A. A&A Auto Parts, 9th Street, Route 611 in Stroudsburg.
No need to go anywhere else. Think Fraley first.
At Nationwide, our agents go above and beyond to understand and protect what matters most.
If you have a baby, move, get a new car, or add a new driver to your policy, they'll make sure your policy changes with you, so you're always covered.
Nationwide agents are part of our member-driven community, where serving members' needs is our priority.
At Fraley Insurance on Route 611 in Stroudsburg, the agents are us, Mike
and Michelle, your friends, neighbors, and family.
Meet us at FraleyInsurance.com.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
Get the party started at Mountain Creek Grill in Bartonsville. Every night, there's something special. There's dinner specials every night of the week, breakfast a la carte on Saturdays, and breakfast brunch on Sundays. Every weekend, the barbecue is smoking. It's out of this world good. The Sports Lounge is headquarters for the UFC with big screen TVs, big drink specials, and big surprises are coming. Where everybody meets at Mountain Creek Grill, Route 611 Bartonsville. Check us on Facebook for UFC fights and more menu specials.
It's now time for Inside Dr. Herman's Head with Dr. Jan Herman and Greg Big Show Larson. To reach Dr. Herman, call 570-420-9670. And now, Dr. Herman.
Yeah. We're back.
That's what the man said.
Yep. What are you eating over there?
A banana chip.
Oh, I like this.
The problem is one piece doesn't go down. Okay, it's down. You know something I really, really like?
What's that?
And I don't think we've ever discussed this, so this is a perfect venue. I like magazines.
I do too. I do. I really do.
Because I like things, because I do most of my reading where most men do most of their reading.
Bathroom?
Mm-hmm. And I like things that have small chapters, small bits you can read, small stories.
You can complete something while you're there.
Yeah, just enough to get 1 or 2 bits of information in while you're on the can, and then you can go on with your day. Well, magazines are filled with, articles that are a page or 2 or 3 long, and you can read an article, you can read a small thing or whatever. I actually have, in the past, subscribed to as many as 25 magazines at one time.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's a full mailbox.
That's way, way, way too many magazines, and I found that I wasn't reading the majority of them at certain points. So I weaned myself off.
Okay.
and they send me, in addition to that, that's what I was paying for, by the way. When you're a doctor,
dude, that's a big bill, man. 25 magazines, what are they, $5 each?
Yeah, about $5.
Well, actually, you're not paying cover price when you have a subscription, but still.
Believe me, cover price is a lot more than $5. I wasn't paying more than $5 for any one of them, but still, you're talking about $100 a year on magazines. And when you're a doctor, they send you subscriptions to magazines for free.
Right, waiting room stuff.
Ad nauseum. I mean, I get. The point I was saying before is I've actually weaned myself down to, believe it or not, one magazine. My favorite magazine that I pay for.
You still get sent?
I pay for, right.
Okay, yeah.
But I still get as many as 10 different magazines every month that I don't pay for. They're free.
All right, yeah.
They're for the waiting room.
Yeah.
Well, little do they know I don't have a waiting room in my office. Nobody waits.
Nah.
But I get like 10 different magazines that I don't even pay for. And I glance through some of them, whatever, or, you put them in the bathroom for, this and that. But I love magazines because the magazine is it's new stuff every week or every month, and I love.
I was always excited to get a new magazine every time.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite magazines. Well, the magazine that I'm getting right now that I pay for is Esquire.
Okay.
Which I think is a fantastic magazine.
Okay.
I read it for the articles because that's really what it is.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, fashion and articles.
Well, you know what? That's the thing. Esquire is not so much fashion because I don't need that much fashion sense.
Isn't it like a guy's like Cosmo?
No, what you're thinking of is actually GQ.
Oh, GQ, you're
right. Which is also
a
Condé Nast publication, but very, very. And then there was like Details that I used to get that all of a sudden
Details
became good magazine. But I find that Details started to cater more to the gay man lately, which is fine. Like, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But and there was a lot of fashion stuff that I wasn't really interested in, and GQ became very, very fashion. As a matter of fact, GQ has gotten to the point. You talk about Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
There are some women's magazines that Terry used to read or get, like Vogue.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the worst purveyors of this, where the table of contents is on page like 98.
Oh, why? Because it's all ads before that?
100 pages of ad in the beginning, and I won't pay for that.
Yeah.
The advertiser's already paying for that. I'm not going to pay for that magazine. Why would I? And GQ has got to be like that, where you have to search 50 or 60 pages in to find the table of contents, and that's ridiculous. And I want my magazine to almost immediately start giving me some. I understand that the inside of the front cover is going to be an ad and maybe a page after that, but then tell me what's in the magazine.
Yeah.
So I'm down to only Esquire now, which I love. When I was younger, people have asked me in the past, what's your favorite magazine?
My favorite magazine?
Yeah. Wrestling what?
Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is true. It's a good magazine. But no, my favorite magazine was, what was it? It was one of those dudes magazines, not a Playboy though. You know what I mean? Not Maxim. It was one of those dudes magazines.
Even if it was, nothing wrong with that.
It was like they always had it was always video game movie reviews and stuff like that, and upcoming TV show stuff, and
all right.
Entertainment Weekly, that's a good one too that I used to love. I haven't seen it lately.
Entertainment Weekly became a celebrity magazine like People, and I don't care about that stuff. I can't believe people do. We talked about that over and over again. A lot of times people have asked me over the years, if you were not a chiropractor, what would you do for a living? And my answer has always been, still is, I would be a puzzler.
You want to... all right, what do you mean by that?
Did you swallow something?
Oh, at first I was going to be like, "What you want? What do you want to make crossword puzzles?"
Yes,
that's what I thought.
Creating puzzles. When I was a kid, there was a puzzle. There was a magazine called Games. Games Magazine. It was curated by Will Shortz. And Will Shortz was the editor of the New York Times crossword puzzle.
Okay.
Which is supposed to be
one of the
top
best,
puzzle, right? And but he created all kinds of puzzles, and this magazine was full of all kinds of everything you can imagine, from crossword puzzles to cross sticks to word puzzles, word finds, and everything. You know, picture puzzles and everything. It was a really, really cool magazine, and eventually went out of business. Well, it went out of business once, and somebody else brought it back, and it was actually owned by Playboy at one point.
Okay.
Playboy Publications. Then it eventually, I believe it stopped. I don't see it anymore, and I wish it did, because I would definitely get it. But I learned how to make puzzles from that magazine. And as a result, I've actually created over the years road rallies, scavenger hunts, and
remember our huge successful scavenger hunt?
You know what? I create them very well. If nobody wants to play it, I can't help that. I make a crossword puzzle and you don't want to do it, that's not on me. It's on you. So I would definitely have worked for Games Magazine. That's what I...
That's cool. I mean, I'm down with that.
Love it. Love puzzles.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back for a second. You talking about Playboy.
Yeah.
Do you know what Playboy announced last week?
They're bringing the nudity back.
Yes.
Yeah, they took it away, now they're bringing it back.
Yeah, it's about a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why they did that? Would you like to guess? I don't know for a fact, but I got a really good guess.
Yeah, I'm not positive on why they did that. I mean, I thought that it was just because I thought they were getting beat out by like the Maxims and things like that.
Well, Maxim is not a nude magazine.
No, it's not. And I thought they were trying to hit the same vein. You know,
it's different.
I mean?
And Playboy did have, if you read it for the articles were a little more. They were written by politicians, written by pundits, and they were higher brow than Maxim. As much as I like all those magazines, but what reason would Playboy, which was around for 60 years, known for everything in their magazine, whether it's the articles or the pictorials,
Centerfold.
Why would they choose to take away the pictorials when that set them so far apart from virtually anything else?
They didn't take them away; they just took nudity away, right?
Okay,
it was just like it was like a Maxim. Like there's still girls in it. But
okay, so why would they do that then?
I don't know.
The answer is found in the fact that they brought it back. Publicity.
Right. Now it's a big deal
Sell
again.
more magazines.
It's a big deal again.
We'll take a hit on a few months or a year of not having nudes to get you reinterested in the magazine.
Now it's going to be like, Playboy's back, you know,
exactly.
And everyone's going to start buying
Exactly. The first one with the nudes is going to sell out crazy.
And then 20 years from now, people are going to be like, I got the first one where they went non-nude, you know. Like
exactly.
You want this?
We have a call. All right, welcome to Inside Dr. Herman's Head on 96.7. Who's calling? Hey, what's happening? What's up, JFB? I'm doing all right. What story? Yeah.
For what, JFB? No.
His cat did not have a kid.
My cat did not have a kitten.
His cat is unable to have a kitten.
Yeah,
Just like you can't have a kitten.
We found out my cat is now a guy, is what happened. No. For 3 months I thought it was a girl, but now we definitely know it's a boy.
His cat's a baseball. Jeff,
Hey, listen, man.
He checked under the front legs. He hit the wrong pair of legs.
I did, but certain pieces weren't fully grown yet, I guess. So now we see it differently.
Jeff, his cat is a baseball player. He's up to bat, and he's got 2 balls on him.
Yeah, it's true.
And Cat Benatar's on deck.
Cat Benatar, yeah.
Yeah. I'm having it now. You did just now?
Right now?
I had it about 30 seconds ago. So, it's crazy when it happens.
Yeah, it's scary.
Usually it only lasts a couple of seconds, but I've had some that have lasted for minutes, and you just think, when am I going to get out of this? So, Hey, Jeff. Hey, man, it's nice to hear from you, man. Hope you're having a good weekend. All right, Jeff. We'll talk to you next week, dude.
Later.
All right. So, yeah, deja vu that lasts for more than a couple of minutes can be freaky.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I believe that Playboy did this totally as publicity.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I can see that because, it's getting news. Oh, Playboy's back with the nudes, so, you know.
You know what? I did not see Playboy without the nudes in it.
Yeah, me neither.
But I can imagine that it's stuck somewhere between a crappy version of Maxim and a crappy version of GQ.
Yeah.
You know, one which has girls that are not nude and one which has no girls at all.
Right.
So, you know, Playboy was unique. It had a niche, and I think that if you look at the fact that it was so unique, then there's no reason for them to have done what they did except for publicity. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
You know. Just like an athlete announcing that they're going to be retiring, and then they come out of retirement 6 months later.
Oh, it's like bands breaking up, too. And then next thing you know, a year later is a reunion tour.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Over and over and over. How many singers have retired?
Dude.
Had four, dude,
Kiss has been on a reunion tour for 25 years.
They're getting really good at it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But, you know how we were speaking about religion before and everything like that?
Yes, sir.
I know we live in a country where we're supposed to have freedom of religion.
Okay.
When does
I'll go there. Let's go.
Yeah. In the Netherlands, okay, a guy was turned down his driver's license because he wanted to wear a spaghetti colander on his head in his driver's license picture.
He worshipped the spaghetti monster, the flying
he said he's a Pastafarian and that it's his religion. And he was denied by the mayor of Eindhoven in the Netherlands to have this, even though
there's always crazy stuff happening in Eindhoven.
Even though you are allowed to wear religious headdress in your pictures for your license over there, but they were denied that it was a genuine religion. What do you think about that?
I
don't think it's news, and that was in our newspaper.
It's not news, but
it's not news at all.
News. That is definitely under the heading of "This is not news," but it does beg a examination.
I mean, you know,
what is an official?
What's an official religion?
What's
Who
an
are you
official
to tell
religion?
me?
We have freedom of religion in this country, and we have supposedly a policy where a person can't be maligned or disparaged or persecuted because of their religion, but can anybody just come along and say something is a religion? You know, every religion began by somebody just coming along and making something up.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
You know, look at everything from the Baha'i faith to Mormonism to, somebody came along either, millennia ago or just a couple of weeks ago and said, this is my new religion. And until, you have a book that you follow, until enough people subscribe to it, until you register with the government, I don't know.
Well, that's the whole thing, too. Like when you think about the Scientology thing, like, okay, you have our age-old, beginning of the world religions that we have, and then you have Scientology, which the guy's a science fiction writer.
Absolutely.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Right, and Jesus was a carpenter.
And Jesus was a carpenter.
I don't know whatever anybody else.
Like that's what I'm saying though. Like, all right, so we have the Christianity and the Judaism and all the stuff that we weren't there for. But you know what I mean? Dianetics was only written when? In the 60s, 70s,
50s, I think.
50s or something like that. Like, and this thing's one of the hugest things. Like,
but at what point will you stop that? Okay, enough's enough.
Enough's enough. Yeah.
You see, this is the biggest problem I have with what's the whole religion thing, and it's not even what makes me an atheist or what's not. We've discussed this before, you and I. I don't know if we ever discussed it on the radio because we usually don't get this deeply into it.
No, but I kind of want to.
But I believe that 95% of the world is atheist.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. if I say to you, if I meet you and I introduce myself as, my name is Jan Herman and I'm a Brussels sprout. Okay?
Yeah.
What does your brain tell you immediately?
That you're a Brussels sprout? No, you're not.
Why am I not a Brussels sprout?
Because I see you right now.
And
you're not a Brussels sprout.
How could you say that?
Because I know what a Brussels sprout is.
Everything that you know factually about a Brussels sprout doesn't apply to me, right?
No.
I don't look, smell, I probably don't taste, okay? or act like a Brussels sprout, okay? How about if I told you I was an electrician? Okay?
See,
what would you say? How would you determine whether I was lying to you or not?
If I just met you, I'd probably just accept it.
Okay, but how would you eventually come to either agree or disagree? Questioning or watching me perform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And what if I didn't do or anything that an electrician does or know anything that an electrician does by virtue of the definition of an electrician?
Mm-hmm.
Then you would say...
You are not.
Okay. Just about every religion that we understand here in the developed world has a book associated with it.
Yeah.
The Torah, the Quran, the New Testament, whatever,
Guidelines.
And guidelines, okay? And even the ones that don't have a book have tenets. They have guidelines and tenets that you are prescribed to follow to be a member of that religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know hundreds and hundreds of people that you've met that ascribe to a certain religion.
Right.
They say, I'm this or I'm that, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Jew, I'm a Muslim, whatever it may be. But I'm thinking you would be hard-pressed to find more than 5% of those people that do all the things that their religion says they should do.
Most people, especially these days, are like, oh, well, I'm not very religious, but I was born this.
Okay,
like,
well, that's...
stuff like that. Yeah.
I'll perfectly accept that as a complete true statement.
Yeah.
But to say, I am blank,
mm-hmm.
and then not do the things that religion says you should do...
Then you're not.
Then you are an atheist. Because you might be hedging your bets. But if you truly, and truly, to the depth of your being, believe that there was a deity checking up on you...
Oh, you'd be involved all the way.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't take a chance with anything.
No, you'd be all the way in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything. You'd be at the house of worship constantly. And you know what's interesting? You'd live the way that they say to live, right?
Yeah.
You either wouldn't drink or you wouldn't curse or you wouldn't eat pork or whatever your individual religion. And the interesting thing is, I have noticed, and I've observed really,
mm-hmm. that
if I were to think about all the religions that I know of in the world that I've had experience with, meeting people that are part of, or what I hear on the news or whatever, what percentage, if I was thinking which religion has the highest percentage of true ascribers, what religion has the highest percentage of people that I've observed really, truly doing everything that their religion says? What group would that be?
Muslim.
Exactly.
Exactly.
First of all, there are more Muslims than any other religion in the world.
Yeah, they're huge.
Okay? Now, how about this? Check this question out.
All right.
You'll get this one. Of the Muslims in this world, which group of them subscribe to the tenets of their religion the most? Which ones do to the letter what the Quran tells them to do?
What, the terrorists?
Fundamentalists, yes.
Fundamentalists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
No, they're following it. Because
they follow these people.
The Quran seriously
Muslims.
says, the Quran seriously says that stuff. You know?
They are truly the truest of the Muslims, the most dedicated.
Yep.
They read the book, letter for letter, word for word, and do exactly what their book tells them to do.
Oh, well, they totally believe that's the path. They're taking the right path. They're doing the right thing. It's not wrong to them. They're not,
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you meet a Christian
mm-hmm.
or a Jew
mm-hmm.
that says, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, I'm Jewish, whatever it may be, but you know and you observe that they don't follow their religion much at all.
Yeah.
Okay? The Catholic that never did the sacraments, the Christians that never go to church except maybe on Christmas Mass, Christmas services, the Jew that drives on Shabbat, okay?
Shabbos,
right? It's Shabbos. Okay, see, you're an old-fashioned Jew. You say it the old Ashkenazi way. Okay,
I'm down with Walter. From,
these people,
Lebowski.
These people are so loosely connected to their religion that I personally refer to them as atheist.
I can see that. I understand where you're coming from now.
Okay.
If you're not going to follow it, then you obviously don't believe so hard to where you really believe it all.
Tell me that you're a certain religion and then show me that you do what the religion says, and I'll perfectly accept that you are. And it the same holds for the average Muslim that you'll find on the street, okay, or at work or in school or whatever, who doesn't do what their religion tells them to do on a daily basis or a regular basis. You know, I was raised Jewish, but we ate pork.
Yeah, I was going to say, and speaking of Shabbos, because, like, you know who I'm talking about in Big Lebowski, Walter, when he's like, you know, I don't roll on Shabbos, you know what I mean? Now, he didn't do anything, didn't pick up the phone, didn't turn on the oven, is that true? Is that literally what you're just supposed to sit there all day?
The Sabbath,
Saturday, right?
The Sabbath is for the Jew, Saturday, as the same as it is for the Christian on Sunday.
Day of rest.
A day of rest, reflection, and prayer.
But you're literally not supposed to do anything.
You're not supposed to cause any work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And when you flip on a light switch, as an example, it causes work to be done by the electrons, and they light up the light bulb. Okay? The funny thing is, you chuckle when you hear it. I chuckle when I hear it. I chuckle when I hear it. This is insane.
It is insane.
To me, the idea of not being able to mix milk and meat, okay, which is prescribed in the laws of kashrut or kosher, okay, is just as laughable and nonsensical to me as Jesus walking on water.
Yeah.
Or Santa Claus coming down the chimney, or there was.
Jesus didn't walk on water though, man. Those guys were so high smoking stuff back then, man. He stepped in a puddle and they thought it was like the greatest thing.
Great, man. You know what? There's an explanation for everything, and the thing is, if I don't subscribe to it, and I don't do the things that there are, you pick a religion, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
even the ones that don't have a book, like Baha'i or Buddhism or whatever it may be, there are tenets. There are certain rules and principles and practices.
And if you're hanging outside the lines, you're really not.
You're not that
You're
thing.
really not part. You're not doing it right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I can call myself a Brussels sprout, but I don't meet any of the requirements. I could call myself an electrician, but I don't do what an electrician does. So who am I to call myself that? And that's what the lady who, remember a couple of years ago, the lady, Rachel, what's her name?
The one that said she was black?
Right, she said she was black.
Yeah, she was a total white woman with blonde hair and like.
Okay. You can call yourself anything you want, but that doesn't make it so. It doesn't make it so. You know,
she was all over the news like she's a black woman, and there was no evidence of any of that whatsoever.
And you know what? Now I hold no prejudice against anybody based on anything really, but
no, of course not.
Sexual preference. Take this for example. Transgender people say that they feel that were assigned the wrong gender at birth. Okay? And that may be the case. I would not argue that at all. You can feel that you were assigned the wrong gender. But the fact of the matter is, as we define the genders, okay, you're born a certain gender. You want to reassign it, have surgery, you want to do it, whatever, but by the definition that we hold, you are what you are.
Yeah.
Okay? That woman can call herself black if she wants, and she can believe in her heart, in the depths of her soul, that she's that color, but she's not by the definition that we hold. Okay? Now, if you want to change the definition of what a black or an African-American person is, maybe she'll meet the new definition.
Yeah.
If you want to change the definition of what a Jew is, somebody who thinks that maybe it will be a good idea to give charity but doesn't do it religiously or regularly, or thinks that it's okay, to drive on Saturday or whatever, or work on Saturday, then maybe you'll have more people that would actually fit the name. But until you change the definition of something, it is what is defined to be. This in front of me over here is a microphone. I could call it a speaker.
Call it whatever you want.
Sound doesn't come out of it. It goes into it.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean.
You can call whatever you want.
I'm going to call it Thai Orchid.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you know what? And just by coincidence, Inside Dr. Herman's Head is brought to you by Thai Orchid. 30 North 9th Street in Stroudsburg. Chef and owner Kanya Nicholas is a native of Thailand, and the Nicholas family has been cooking for the Poconos since 1955. Come and experience the authentic taste of Thailand at Thai Orchid in Stroudsburg. Lunch specials daily. Takeout orders. Call 570-421-1717. That would be no for our Spanish-speaking listeners.
Yeah.
That would be 570.
Yes.
421.
Yes.
17.
Okay, if you wanted to go like that instead of breaking it up.
17.
Yeah.
Okay. Or visit ThaiOrchidTakeout.com. We'll be back in un momento.
Hi, this is Governor Tom Wolf. Thousands of families across Pennsylvania have been affected by the opioid epidemic. Together, we can fight this disease. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, help is available. Visit pa.gov/opioids for resources and information on substance abuse. For treatment options, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Brought to you by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Tom Wolf, Governor. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Why did you choose Pyrum Endocrinology?
Because my uncontrolled diabetes takes more than a 5-minute office visit to get under control.
Because I am sick now and I don't have to wait weeks to be seen.
Because I need that personal one-on-one attention from my doctor.
Why will you choose Pyrum Endocrinology? Because we care.
Dr. Ronald Pyrum is a board-certified endocrinologist located 529 Seven Bridges Road in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Call today to set up an appointment, 570-362-7862. Pyrum Endocrinology, PC. Personalized medical care tailored to fit your needs.
It's now time for Inside Dr. Herman's Head with Dr. Jan Herman and Greg Big Show Larson. To reach Dr. Herman, call 570-420-9670. And now, Dr. Herman.
What's the name of that song again?
This one?
Yeah.
African Beat?
African Beat by Bert Kempfert.
Yes. I like it.
Well, that was a heavy discussion, so
Yeah.
I want to lighten it up just for a second. Okay?
Lighten the mood.
What the hell ever happened to instruction booklets?
To what? Instruction booklets?
Yeah.
No, there's no such thing anymore. And actually,
What's going on?
Actually, being a video game collector, it's one of my hugest pet peeves right now is that games don't come with instruction manuals anymore. And that's part of it, man.
It's our own fault. Because so many people didn't read them, they flew by the seat of their pants and they screwed everything up. So the industry said, the instruction booklet industry, you don't need us anymore.
You don't need us anymore.
And we're going to go make some widgets.
Yes.
You buy a new phone, your cell phone, you buy a new computer, no instruction booklet. New video system, no instruction
it's
booklet.
built inside now. You can find out what you need.
You got to pull it up, you got to look it up, you got to look on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, they'll tell you, if you want an instruction manual, go online and
download it.
Download it.
Yeah. My company does that.
Do they really?
Yeah, it says it's like, if you need help installing your part or anything like that, just go to our website and go to support, and it's all there.
Why? Because they figure it would be too big of a manual if they printed it out?
Well, it kind of is.
I don't care. You should print it out. Take some of that fat cash that I'm paying you for the phone or whatever, and look up TVs. They tell you how to hook it up and not how to use it. I want to know. I am one of those people that historically has read the instruction manual. I always read the instruction manual, usually cover to cover. I like to know everything that my blender does.
I'm like that too, actually. I dig that.
I find it interesting. But I'm a guy that reads the phone book on the toilet. So
yeah, you're also one of them.
I like reading reference books. That's why I like magazines. Have I mentioned that? I don't read novels and stuff. I don't have patience for the. I'm glad there are people that do. I have no problem with that. I just don't read. I have no patience for the.
No, that's what you watch movies for.
The fiction. Yeah.
That's what you watch movies for.
Yeah, you know what I like about movies?
No reading. That's my deal too.
Oh man! Oh, I gotta tell you this. Valentine's Day. This past week.
Yeah.
The day d'amore. I drove into New Jersey to visit my wife because, as you know, we don't live together.
Right.
So
best arrangement in the world you got.
You know what? A lot of people either think it's ludicrous or they think it's a great arrangement, and what they're basing that on is totally screwed up.
Right.
A lot of people say, "Whoa, man, so you can do whatever you want." That's not the point of it.
I see it as not getting sick of each other.
That's the reason for it.
That's why
it's very hard. You see, when you get married, and I'm going to go for this tangent. Okay, I'll do this with you. That's fine.
Do it, man.
I'll do this. We only have a couple of minutes anyway. When you get married or when you get into a relationship with somebody, okay, and you become a couple, if you want to do that thing, okay, that monogamous thing, or just being a couple, you can't lose sight of the fact that you're also an individual person. Just like when you have a child, you can't lose sight of the fact that you also are a child.
Right.
If your parents are still alive, okay? You can't lose sight of the fact that you're, every role that you take on in life gets added to what you are, not in place of something else. Mm-hmm. If you open a business and become a business owner, that doesn't mean you have to sell your children and not be a father.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you're going to be a business owner, and you're going to be an employer as well as maybe an employee if you're somewhere in the middle. Okay, you could be both. But the problem is trying to maintain your individuality and being, giving attention to the part of you that likes to sometimes be alone, do your own thing, and not have to consider somebody else for every single thing.
That's
and
right.
every single decision.
I dig it, man.
Is hard to do when you're living with somebody all the time.
Yeah.
If you want a half an hour alone to read your instruction booklet, okay? You like how I did that? You see what I did right there? Then it's hard to do if that particular half an hour is something that the other person is scheduled to be together.
Yeah.
And how are you going to get across the idea that I'd like to have a half an hour of peace and quiet alone without somehow hurting their feelings?
Yeah, without getting into a mess.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when you live apart, whether you're dating somebody in a committed relationship, even married, then you have that time is created automatically where you can do your own thing and be yourself and be alone and have some solitude time, have some time alone to get a project done. And then you have the period of time when you're together.
When you're together, yeah.
So we spend half a week apart and half a week together, and it works out perfectly. And I maintain to this day that is the solution to the failure of so many marriages. Live apart.
I kind of agree.
Okay.
I don't know. It works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for a lot of people. Everybody's their own person, but just in situations I've been in over years and stuff like that, it's just I can't.
It would be a good solution.
I can't see where that wouldn't help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you just get sick of each other.
Well, you know what? If you go back to the very beginning when we created marriage, okay, and we created marriage, there was no marriage. We made this up, okay?
Right.
If you took away, everybody was individual, and you started pairing them up and giving them a piece of paper from the state, okay, to acknowledge that, to recognize it so you could tax them a different way, it didn't necessarily mean that you had to go whole hog and jam them together in the same house, where there's almost never enough room.
There's no official rule book on that, like we were talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not a law that you have to live together if you're married. And, look at the example of the fact that so many of the past generations where the woman stayed home and raised the kid and kept the house, and the man went and worked. Mm-hmm. Once he retires, what happens? He's dumped into the house 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's her house. She keeps the house. She maintains it. She organizes it. Now he's around all the time underfoot, wants to, be part of paying the bills if she did that, wants to be part of this, part of that. He wants to watch Judge Judy and she watches The View every day. So now what are we going to do? Yeah. all of a sudden you see that these people who have been married for 1,000,000 years have to actually be together all the time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah, instead of a few hours a day, you got all day.
So you say, oh, how did you maintain your marriage for the past 50 years? We weren't together most of the time. We were apart 50 to 60% of every day. Mm-hmm. See, I just extrapolated it into making my life where my wife and I aren't together 60% of every week.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
We're together all the time for 40% of the week and not at all for the other 60%. And it works great.
So you get a big hangout and a big break.
And every single time she comes to the area to live together with me for that 40 to 50% of the week, it's like we had just met and the love is there and everything is exciting.
You had enough time to miss her face again and then just
I am no less excited to see her every week when she gets here. And I'm not saying this because I know she's listening. I'm no less excited to see her every week when she comes up to the Poconos than I was the very first time she walked out of her house on our first date. And it's
Terry,
true.
how about
it's true.
that
She's a doll and she's fantastic. And this is a way to maintain that. So...
oh man, look at that, right on the dot.
See that?
And
you know what?
Ended that on a very positive, lovey note.
I'm very happy about that, but I still got to talk about Valentine's Day next week.
You do. No, you do. I'm sorry I interrupted you there, but that's
okay.
Good. That was good.
We had a wonderful Valentine's dinner, and I'll tell you about it next week. I want to thank everybody for listening to Inside Dr. Herman's Head this week. Thank you very much, Big Show, for being here.
You are welcome, sir.
For entertaining my crazy, crazy ideas.
Oh, who else is gonna?
That's true. 60% of the week, nobody. I want to thank Jeff for calling in. We love everybody out there. Thanks to Ty Orchid for sponsoring us. And listen to Gary's show during the week, I guess, from 5:30 in the morning to 9:30, Monday through Friday. I'm going to leave this week with a real oldie, real crazy, bizarre old song. And if you,
all right, when you say an oldie, though, I think 50s. Your oldies are like the 20s or something.
No, this is from the 50s.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Okay? And I'm not going to tell you who's singing this. If you're interested, look it up on the internet.
All right.
I'm going to see if you know after we get off here. Okay?
All right.
Everybody have a fantastic week. We'll talk with you next week.
Peace out.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo. There was Mermaid Minnie, met her down in Madagascar. She would kiss me anytime that I would ask her. Then one evening her flame of love blew out. Blow me down and pick me up, she swapped me for a trout.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo.
There was Typhoon Tessie, met her on the coast of Java. When we kissed, I bubbled up like molten lava. Then she gave me the scare of my young life. Blow me down and pick me up, she was the captain's wife.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo.
Then there was Harpoon Hannah, had a look that spelled out danger. My heart quivered when she whispered, I'm there, stranger. Bought her trinkets that sailors can't afford.
Sailors can't afford.
And when I spent my last red cent, she tossed me overboard.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above.